guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I posted on here, but unfortunately school had a lot of work that I had to do. I still have a lot of work that I have to do, but I just thought to make time to record this video because, as I mentioned in my first video, that I wanted to share my academic journey with you, so that's what I'm trying to do. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 things I learned in my first year as a master's student. To be quite honest, I don't feel like it's been a year since I've been doing a master's degree, but because it's a new year, it's a year since I've been doing a master's degree. So I'm just going to talk about the 5 things that I've learned or come to realize doing a master's degree. So one important thing to note is, usually when you talk to senior students or postgraduate students, there is kind of this thing of romanticizing postgraduate studies. Granted, if you talk about the bad side of postgraduate studies to undergraduates, it will kind of not motivate them to do postgrad. So I kind of understand where they're coming from when they romanticize the whole notion of doing a postgrad, but at the same time, as a person, you come into this field sort of unprepared because you don't know what's there. You are expecting things to be rosy and shiny all the time, and unfortunately that's not going to be the case. So first thing that I learned, motivation or lack thereof. So when you're doing a master's degree, especially if you're doing it by research, you don't have class, you don't have anything that you have to attend, you don't have assignments, you don't have homeworks, you just have your project and you're working at your own pace. You set your own deadlines. Sometimes it's very easy not to have, or sometimes you just don't have motivation, like at all. Sometimes you just want to sleep and not do any work. So it's something I learned in my first year. Like sometimes I was just like, I don't feel like working. I know I have to work, and the guilt that comes with knowing that I actually need to work because a deadline is coming or I have to submit a draft of something to my supervisor. It's a lot. But to be quite honest, it's something that you need to come to terms with. Sometimes you're just not gonna have motivation, and it's okay. Sometimes you're gonna have a lot of motivation. You will get so many things done in a couple of days or in a week, and sometimes you won't have motivation. So it's a matter of knowing, if I'm in this state, what can I do and what can't I do? For example, when I know that I don't have that much motivation to work, I would rather stick to reading literature than trying to do like data analysis, because that's something I need to like focus on if I'm doing. So I know, okay, I'm not feeling motivated to do that much work today. Let me rather read a couple of articles and make notes. Even if I just read one, at least I've done something for that day. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is the biggest one I learned. When doing a degree, when doing a postgraduate degree, you're gonna have to learn as you go. You don't have time to say, oh, I actually don't know how to do this. Let's press pause on this degree. I need to learn how to do this first so that I can apply it into my project. There is no time for that. You're doing a degree for a set amount of years and you need to get it done. So you learn as you go. For example, I'm learning how to do species distribution modeling. Something I've heard of being mentioned somewhere at some point. I never thought I would get to do it or would have to do it. But here I am, learning how to code, how to do species distribution modeling, how to analyze climate data. It's a lot. And it's just something I have to do as I go, because it has to get done. So it's something you're just gonna have to know. And the biggest thing when it comes to this is you need to ask for help. You need to identify the people who know the specific thing and go out there and talk to them and find out how to do certain things. You need to use all available resources, YouTube, Google, whatever it is. Just get it done. The third thing, it's lonely. And I always talk to people I know about this. I'm always like, damn, I did not know that a master's degree is so lonely. Because my perception of it when I was doing honors was, these people are having the time of their lives. They don't have class, they can go out with their friends, they can do whatever. But then again, there's lockdown and the pandemic, so that also played a role. But still, you're doing your own thing, you're focused on your own thing, your friends are doing their own projects, you have different timelines of doing things, you have different priorities. You won't always get to see people. You will spend a lot of time alone trying to get your own things done, and it's like very lonely. For example, because sometimes I'm lazy to go to campus, I spend a lot of time alone at my place working or doing whatever else that I would be doing. And by the time I realize that it's been 3 weeks and I have not interacted with anyone in person, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to see people. You know what I mean? But maybe it's also the lockdown. I don't know. You might be having a different experience compared to me because, yeah, but that's the third thing. The fourth thing I've learned is that you feel like you're in limbo. I don't know if that makes sense. You feel like you're just up in the air. For example, if somebody comes and they're like, oh, what project are you doing? And you tell them, they're like, how far are you? Are you almost done? You're just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm done or if I'm close to being done anyway. So it's like, as soon as you're done with like submitting your proposal, you do things. If you can collect data, you collect data. But I feel like unless you're at that point where you're doing your final write-up and you're almost close to submitting, you will just always feel like you don't know where you are. If this is you starting your degree and finishing your degree and you're just here, you don't know whether you're close or you're you just, yeah, that's it. That's how I feel right now. I don't know if I'm close to being done, if I'm closer to being done or closer to having just started. That's just how you're gonna feel. I don't know how else to explain it, but yes, fourth point. The fifth thing or lesson I've learned is that your mental state or your mental health is the most important thing you can have. When you're doing a master's degree, so many things come to your mind. You think about, what am I gonna do after? What have I been doing? I've been asking myself, what exactly am I doing with my life? It's a very weird question to ask because I'm doing a master's degree, but still you're like, what have I accomplished? So your mental state is very important because you need to be in the right frame of mind to succeed in your research. But at the same time, sometimes it gets so stressful that you feel like it's not even worth it. So what I learned was, you will have some points where you just break down because things are just not going the way you want them. You're trying to analyze data, nothing is going right. You're trying to do this specific thing, nothing is working. You're trying to find out how to do this thing, you can't find out how to do it, or you're doing it and it's like, it just feels like things are falling apart. So it's important to like pace yourself, to do things when you can do them. And if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, things are just getting too much, to take a break. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to do some data analysis and things were just not happening. Like it was just not working. No matter how hard I kept trying and redoing the thing, it was not happening. I decided, you know what, I'm over this. I'm just, no. So I took 2 days break and I read fiction. And I did not think about school at all. After that 2 days, I felt refreshed. I felt like maybe I can tackle my problem in this way. All I'm saying is you need to know that your mental health is more important than getting sucked by school and just feeling like you don't even know who you are. So remember, pace yourself, take care of your mental health. That is the biggest thing that matters, because you can't really do anything if your mental health is in shambles. So those are the 5 lessons I learned from my first year as a master's student. It would be very interesting to know what lessons you've learned in your current year of study or whatever you're doing, and how you have, how you have overcome the challenges you've come across. I would be very interested to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe if you like my content, and switch on the bell notification to get notified whenever I post a video. I hope to post as much as I can, but if I have too much work, there's not really much I can do because I still have to prioritize bagging this degree. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.